Friends, in this video, we are going to cover everything you need to know about the basics of budgeting. I will also answer the question of whether or not I think everyone should budget, and my answer might surprise you. Stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to share with you a tool that I made that will help you budget your money the most effective way possible. Okay, before we get started into the concepts of budgeting, I wanted to talk about the two different types of personalities or philosophies to approaching budgeting. So to answer my question that I talked about earlier, do I think everyone should budget? No, I do not. The people that I don't think need to budget are in this first group, and they approach budgeting by just not spending any money. Now, this is not 99.99% of the population. The only people that can truly pull this off are very, very frugal people. I'm talking about that one friend that brings his own guacamole to Chipotle because he doesn't want to pay $3. There are truly very few people like this, and especially in the younger generations of millennials, Gen X, and Gen Zers. I really think this is a more popular mindset of the boomers and silent generation. A lot of the people in those generations may have gone through the war or have immigrated to the US. Their life was much harder than the young people in America today, I can assure you that. So if you think this first archetype is you, it's probably not you. I'm telling you, this is a very small percentage of the population. The second approach here, and the more common one for most people watching this video, is to physically budget every single dollar that you make. Now, there are plenty of ways to do this. You can use apps like Mint and EveryDollar. But I truly think the most effective way to do this, and I'm going to show you here in a second, is to write down every single purchase, whether that's with a pen and paper or on your laptop like I do. I really do like these budgeting apps like Mint and EveryDollar, but they take the thought out of making purchases. What I mean by that is when you make a purchase with these apps, it automatically uploads it into a certain category, and sometimes it's just easy to forget about it. So like I said, these apps are great, but I am going to show you a better way to budget your money today. Let's go over two quick rules before we get into the methodology of how I want you to budget. So the first rule here is don't overcomplicate it, just keep it simple. Before I started budgeting the way that I'm going to show you, I had a bunch of graphs and charts that were showing my future spend and my net worth at a certain time. You don't need all that. It worked for me, but it was exhausting to keep up and it's just not sustainable. So the second rule here is just simply start by writing down your purchases. This is just writing down everything that you spend. If doing a full month is too much to handle, just do it for a week to start. People do the same thing when tracking their calories to lose or gain weight. It's the same concept here. You have to understand your baseline consumption, whether that's calories or purchases. It's the same thing. Now, the last thing that I wanted to say here is that it's very easy to just swipe a card these days and not think much about the purchase. That's why I'm encouraging you to do this writing down method. And now I know some people are going to say, I look at my app daily or I check my statement all the time. It's not the same thing. In order to truly be 100% meticulous about this, you need to write down every purchase, whether that's physical or typing it on the computer. This is a huge component to the success of this strategy. I cannot stress it enough. Okay, so now that we've kind of laid the groundwork for the strategy here, let's get right into the tool that I recommend you use to budget your money. So I actually found this budgeting template on Google Sheets. Now I adjusted it a little bit to change up some of the categories that I think you might need. It's really straightforward, super clean, and very easy to use. So I'm going to walk you through the basics of this file right now, and I'll leave a link in the description to this file so you can download it for yourself. Okay, now that we're in the template, let's take a look around. As you can see in the top right-hand corner here, it says only edit the highlighted cells in this light red color. So right here at the top right hand corner is the starting balance. This can either be the total amount that you have in your savings or this can be your total net worth. Either one is fine. And if you scroll down here, you'll see this little graphic where it has the start balance and the end balance. So currently it looks like this person after 1 month is $500 richer. That's what this is reading here. As you scroll down further, you can see that it has expenses and income. Expenses are on the left-hand side, and some of the categories are food, gifts, health, home, transportation, personal. There's a bunch of other categories here, and you can even add your own at the bottom. I added a couple like charity as well. On the income side, you can see that there's savings, paycheck bonus, interest, other, and you can customize these as well. Let's say you have dividends from stocks, or maybe you have cash flow from real estate. So remember that the only thing that you should be changing here are these categories and this plan column. Everything else should stay the same because they're all based on formulas. So let's kind of go through this. The planned expenses for the month is what you want to put in this plan category. That's what you expect to pay on that specific category. So as we go into the next page here in transactions, we can show you kind of how each line item works. So expenses and income right here are going to correlate with the expenses and income on this page. Let's go through how the line item works. So the date you'll put in, and then you will put the amount that you spent on that item, not the one that you planned, the amount that you spent. And then description, you can just go ahead and fill in whatever you'd like there. It's up to you. And the most important is the category. You can go ahead and select from the drop-down list, and these categories are all going to match the categories that are listed on this graphic for expenses. So as you can see, we spent $1,000 on rent this month, and we only planned on spending $950, so you'll see that $50 differential here that's negative. And if you go to the income side, you'll see that we got a $1,500 paycheck, and we only planned to get $1,450, which means there's a positive $50 differential there. So what I love about this template is that you can put in the transactions of what actually happened and base that to what you plan to happen, and you can see if you overspent or underspent in each different category that you set up. And then this graphic up here at the top is obviously going to change between your beginning and ending balance, and it will show you how much money you saved that month. So all you need to do is make sure that you're writing down every single transaction that happens, whether it's an expense or an income. So every time you spend money, I recommend that you either write a note on your phone and then just go input this in at the end of the day, or maybe write it down on a piece of paper. Like I said, I really love this template because it's so clean. The transactions, you just put them in and it fills in everything for you to show you whether or not you overspent or underspent. It's that simple. I'll leave this link in the description down below. Go ahead and click it and download it for yourself. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll be more than happy to reply. Okay, I just wanted to leave you with a couple last parting words of advice. The first one is that your savings account will not be linear. You're going to have some good months, you will have some bad months, you'll have some emergencies likely, and it's going to be okay. Don't get discouraged by missing the mark sometimes. I often beat myself up because I have to do it all the way or I don't do it at all. That's not how finances work. It's a gray area sometimes. It's not as cut and dry. It's not very black and white. And the last thing here is that the best financial plan is the one that you're going to stick to. Don't make it super unrealistic. And that's why I love this template. It's very easy to use, super clean, and all you have to do is write down those transactions and it will do the work for you. Setting a path to achieve greatness and falling along the way is just life. And it's better that you did that than nothing at all. I promise you that if you stick to this for a couple months and really hone in on these categories, it's going to make a huge difference in your spending. Just becoming aware of the things that you're spending money on that you might not have thought you're spending money on is going to be a game changer. And with that said, if you enjoyed the content in this video, please leave a like and subscribe down below. I have a bunch of videos planned this year about basic financial principles that you will not want to miss. Thank you so much for watching. I am rooting for you, and I will see you in the next one.